Morning, Keeney.
Morning.
Right, we're down the allotment for the first time in about a year. Well, with the camera. Today, and then following weeks, I've got a lot of cutting back to do. All the red currants need cutting back and trimming as soon as, because they're all putting buds out already, so I don't know if it's too late for that. The raspberry canes all need cutting back. They're autumn bliss, so you cut those right back down to the ground and then they grow up fresh again. In these beds here, where my shadow is, we had broad beans this year. They were a failure because they were just horrible. I don't know what happened with those. I think it was the variety. It was some red-skinned variety, and then they just weren't very nice. So that was a bit of a fail. So we won't be growing those again. We had some peas under there for a while. The chicken nets just to keep the pesky pigeons off. They were little pesky peskers of those this year. I've left my bean canes up. I'll be whipping those down soon. We've got plenty of beans. I've still got a freezer full of runner beans and the French green beans. They were beautiful as well. Still got loads and loads and loads and loads and loads and loads and loads. Gooseberry bush, had about 5 kilos of gooseberries off that. Turned them into gooseberry and strawberry jam, which I've still got a little bit left. Had about 20 kilos of red currants, and we had about 5 kilos of black currants as well. So we've got lots and lots of jam and red currant jelly and stuff still in storage. Right, we're in the polytunnel. We had a lot of tomatoes as well this year. Still haven't pulled them down. You can see I've been a right miserable sod and I've done nought, basically. So we had a lot of tomatoes. Some of them, just be careful what you get at the garden centre is all I can say. There's some that I thought were plum tomato, and there's still some left on it. I'll show you. These stupid little things here, they're like little mini cherry tomatoes. They're supposed to be black Russian tomatoes, and that was out of Seeds, a reputable company. And then some other plum tomatoes. They turned out to be cherry tomatoes as well, and that was from a plant bought from the garden centre up the road. And then I grew some beef tomatoes and some pomodoro or big ass things. They were, I don't know, big. They were really beautiful, made fantastic tomato soup in this jungle next to the caner.
You mean Jojo?
Yeah, Jojo the jungle. That is mainly dahlias, which we grew for the tubers, which are still underground, and I'll replant some of those this year. We had cucumbers and gherkins, which we had a huge crop of, and I've just pickled like a numpty, and got jars and jars of pickles. Found a fantastic recipe for making pickling juice, and they go down a treat. We grew what was that we grew on that?
I'm not sure.
Melon, that's right. And here in this bed we had peppers.
I nearly fell over there.
And a candy that was falling over. Right, out of the polytunnel.
That was funny.
I know what you haven't seen the brassica cage. Oh, let's have a look at the brassica cage. Hem indeed, child.
Oh,
Wrong way. Right, we have the brassica cage, which, because we have such a pigeon problem here, we didn't want the pigeons and everything scoffing what we've got inside. So let's have a look. Right, we've got some purple sprout up the corner in a little raised bed, because basically under here was just a weed-ridden forest.
Awesome!
So we're going to put some little raised beds in this side.
Yeah.
There's the end of the
What are these?
cabbage. Under the cabbages and some weeds. The sprouts did nothing. I don't know what happened to the sprouts, but they've just been a miserable failure. A lot of them just sort of opened into little things. We haven't really got much going on in the way of sprouts. We've got quite a whitefly problem here, and I didn't have time to spray for those this year, so they sort of had a good munch on what we had. Peas were a success. I've got a fridge full of peas. And that's the last of the kale there. So all this needs ripping out, digging over, ready for this season. So if anybody wants to come round and help,
Ooh,
apart from that one. Oh, my baby.
But I've helped you do nearly all of this.
Ow. Yesterday I put the path in. I got all the slabs off recycle. Another bed I've just got to finish off now. We had leaks in there, we got leak moth in there. Because I did a kitchen extension on the house this year, which took up most of the summer, I just basically came down here and just harvested. I didn't do much in the way of weeding or spraying, so nothing's had bug killer on it or anything this year, or fertiliser or anything. This is garlic, which I planted just before Christmas, so that's come up nice. I'll go good pointing.
That's a mint.
That's mint, yeah. We need to chop that off and that'll regrow again in the spring. We put it into a sunken pot and it doesn't spread out and cover the entire bed, but I'm thinking about replotting that into a big cold water tank I got out of somebody's loft. And here we've just got the end of the spring veg, rather at the end of the veg, just some spring onions left in there.
Is this leek?
No, they're spring onions, darling, tiny little onions.
What are these?
Oh, I pulled those. There was just some an experiment with late beetroots, which didn't work. Oh, that one turned into a weed bed. I don't know what happened in that, but it was protected from the pigeons with the netting. I did have some peas in there and something scoffed them, and I had beetroot in and cabbage, cauliflower, but that bolted. So here we've got the start. Here we go. I planted as an experiment way before Christmas, probably in about November time. I put some broad beans in. A lot of them have come through, some haven't, so whereas there's bare patches I'll put some plants in just to make up. This bed we had full of potatoes, which are all gone now, so that just needs the weeds taken out just up there and turning over. I put in our little pond, which turned out quite well really. It got a bit green and slimy because we can't put any filtration in. But the fishes survived. They're in there somewhere, hibernating for the winter time. Got a little pump in there which runs off a solar panel somewhere. There it is. So in the summertime when the sun hits it, it gets aerated by a tiny little fountain.
I can see that there is the edge somewhere here.
Oh, cool.
Spider!
And I know we've got frogs on the allotment, so I'm hoping that we're going to have some frog spawn in there. Here's some slab. I just bunged some slabs around it yesterday just to start doing something. I got a load of block pavers off free cycle as well.
You get everything.
I do. We get a lot of free cycle stuff because it's good. It's a good way of saving things that would otherwise go to the tip, darling.
What was in here?
This was comfrey, which has started. There's a snail full of water.
Is anyone in?
That's regrowing, but I think if we have any frost, that'll get knocked back. But that's comfrey in there, which I'm going to use to make comfrey tea. I'll just basically cut the leaves off, put them in a bucket with water and weight on.
Is anyone in there?
No, I think they've gone. No, there's nobody in. And that'll make some lovely fertiliser. This I filled with horse muck. I originally made this tub to put as a compost heap, but I filled it full of some horse muck that we got delivered, which was too fresh. It would have just scorched and killed anything that we put in it. So I put some put some... What did we put in that one?
We put butternut squash.
Butternut squash, and they went mental, didn't they, Rose?
I want to show you something over here.
Oh, the squash one, the one that we left because it had split. But that's not very pretty though, is it? Because that's just like a...
Mush.
It's just like sick, really. It's like something's come along and gone, "Bleh, I'm sick on the floor."
Yeah, yesterday I stood in it, you can see.
Oh, great.
Footprint.
Yeah, you're smashing. I don't know if we had the car parking space. I don't think we did, because I made that since. Car parking space. But we haven't parked on it yet. It's a bit soft, so I just need to put some base down on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got the bench, which we've seen before.
You forgot
The rhubarb.
something.
I forgot something. Oh, no.
There's like, if I come outside for a second, like Daddy made a beehive.
Oh, a little bee house, just for the solitary bees for the winter time to hide in. There's probably are bees in there also, I wouldn't faff about, so they can live in there over the winter time.
You forgot something else, come here.
Oh, blooming it.
This is Rosie's garden, and I'm Rosie. Hello. And we came up with a theme because we thought this was kind of a garden thing. And we thought we should put Rosie's. Because I'm sharing it with my dad who's videotaping it. I'll show you him in a minute when I'm recording. Hello, my name's Rosie, and we've got some other squash, but I think I get steps in some. But my dad is going to show you because he's trimming just some currants or something, I don't know what they're called, about. So we're going to show you this now. So this is my dad. Say hello.
No.
He was taping like some minutes ago. And we've got loads of currants and we just need to trim them down now because they've just got so mangy.
No, we trim them down every year. We trim out the old wood and overhanging wood, and that gives us good fruit next year. So we take out these old ones, and these new ones. So some of these aren't very old because I trimmed it back hard last year and we had some fantastic fruit. But you don't want anything that's going to get heavy with fruit and hang on to the floor, or it'll go rotten. So I'll take another one out of that. I'll take that one.
So you have to be careful where you cut these then?
Yeah. You've got to be a bit harsh with them. And let's have a look. Get rid of that one.
My dad.
Hey.
Adrian Roy Kane.
Also known as?
Bob. Right, that's his nickname, Bob. I call him Bob because he likes the name Bob. So Dad,
Yeah, Bob.
you got to say goodbye to
Goodbye. Hello, goodbye.
It's probably goodbye for all of us. So, bye everyone. I'm so sorry. Mwah! Bye bye.